Hey guys, Gameboy 3800. Okay, well, maybe not here on camera, but you catch my drift. Hopefully. Don't mind me, I have a cold. Either way. I'm going to talk about a random topic that probably no one cares about, but me. But this is just another one of my many fetishes that I have. I only plan to do one video like this, but if you like to hear me gripe or brag about some more pointless crap, then leave a comment. Who knows, this could be a series. Just whatever. The topic of my mind is fans. No, not Justin Bieber fans, I mean fans. Like they cool you off and stuffs. Yes. Yeah, fans in different laptop models. The reason why that's on my mind is because I recently got a new HP OmniBook XC4400S laptop. It's almost identical to another HP laptop I have called the GE4900, but it has a lot more to it. I could go on and on about specifications and talk in technobabble language and bore you to death, but I'm just going to stick on topic. I'm going to show pictures along with what I say, and they each have markings on them. The fans are marked with red, and green shows what I modified. Other colors are just there. Either way, the 4900 has one tiny fan on the top left corner, and it does a great job keeping it cool. While the 4400 has not one, not two, not over 9,000, but three. Yeah, one for the CPU, one for graphics, and one for airflow over the motherboard. I mean, why three fans? Is a third one even necessary? The only other laptops I've seen with three fans are the Toshiba Satellite P20 series, and they have a perfectly good reason to have three, for they overheat way too easily. There should be more. Anyways, the reason why I bring this up is because there's such a variety in the fans on the laptops that I have. I'm just going to go through each one. Well, not each one, there's many more, but about, let's say, half. My Vostro 1700 has just one, and it does a fine job keeping it cool. Although the place where the wireless and Bluetooth cards are does get warm sometimes, and I never had it overheat. Another thing is that it has two heat sinks, which can build up dust over time. But just flip up the keyboard and blast it with air, and they're good for the next year. So that's why I like this laptop. It's the one I'm using now. Next, my Precision M70 has three fans, counting the one that's on the docking station. But even with two fans on the laptop, it gets way too hot. The place where the docking station connects gets hot enough to almost burn you. Also, the place where the modem, wireless card, and RAM goes also gets extremely hot. So I used a Dremel and cut some of vents into the place where all that RAM and stuff is to let some of the heat out. It does a good job, but it still gets way hot. So I always have it docked because that way it's a little bit off the ground and stays cooler. If you ask me, there should be another fan right in the middle. Next, my IBM 380D, one of my many vintage laptops, has two fans. One over the CPU and one over the place where the battery plugs in. Okay, number one, CPU, I understand, but why battery? Seriously. And two, there's barely any place to let the air get in or out, so it seems to get warm even on cool days. My compact Presario, or Presario, or however you pronounce the blasted name, has one fan, and it does a fine job letting the air out, but like the IBM, there's almost no place to let air in, so it can get warm. The PowerBook 5300C, the oldest Apple computer I have, has no fans whatsoever. I can understand that because it's got almost no moving parts inside whatsoever, and it's very small. But even so, it gets warm after long periods of use, probably from the hard drive and stuff and RAM. The Toshiba Satellite A70 taken apart uses 2, and it has a good reason. It gets way too hot. Although I never use it because I'm still working on it. It got extremely hot when my teacher let us use it at school. I blame the government. My Satellite 320 CDT has one on the back, awkwardly pointing straight up and down sideways. No matter how hot the computer got, it would never turn on. I think it broke. Also about that computer, a foreign seller sold me a laptop. Well, sold me a charger for the laptop, and it killed the laptop. Plugged it in, heard a pop, that was it. So, curse you, Hong Kong. Either way. Next up, my Tecra 720 XCDT. Long name. Taken apart like the satellite, has one fan identical to the 320 CDTs, but it's been forever since I last used it, so I can't tell if it kept it cool. And I'm using its parts for other computers, so there's no way to find out at the moment. My XP S1530, I think that's what it's called, has one, but I think it should have one more, or at least a more powerful fan, for it always seems to be warm. I even upped the voltage on the fan, and the laptop still gets too hot for comfort. And as you can see in the picture, there's an extended battery that lifts it up, and I got it for just that purpose, to keep it cool. So yeah, it does get fairly uncomfortable. And finally, my Generation 1 MacBook Air has one. I don't even see how it could fit in such a tiny package of the MacBook Air. But I must say, it does a fine job keeping it cool. The MacBook also has holes on the bottom to help vent it. I've seen others on eBay with the fan in weird places like the side or even the top, like when you open a screen it's there. But they all generally do the same thing, so I'm shutting up now. Okay, thanks, bye, now goes away. You're hogging up to internets.